Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Us Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will discuss can Trump shut the door on US birthright citizenship? President-elect Donald Trump's promise to end birthright citizenship has been a significant point of debate, particularly regarding its implications for immigration policy and American identity. As part of his broader stance on limiting immigration, Trump and his supporters contend that birthright citizenship encourages illegal immigration and birth tourism, while critics argue that this policy is deeply embedded in American law and history. The question of whether such a policy can be eliminated raises legal and constitutional concerns that would likely lead to significant court battles, especially as the 14th Amendment protects the right of anyone born in the U.S. to automatic citizenship. If you are interested in this, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to end birthright citizenship once he assumes office, fulfilling campaign promises to limit immigration and redefine American identity. However, attempts to eliminate the policy would encounter significant legal challenges. Birthright citizenship means anyone born in the United States automatically becomes an American citizen. It's been in place for decades and applies to children born to someone in the country illegally or in the U.S. on a tourist or student visa who plans to return to their home country. It's not the practice of every country, and Trump and his supporters have argued the system is being abused and that there should be tougher standards for becoming an American citizen. But others say this is a right enshrined in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. It would be extremely difficult to overturn, and even if it's possible, it's a bad idea. What Trump has said about birthright citizenship. During an interview Sunday on NBC's Meet, the press Trump said he absolutely planned to halt birthright citizenship once in office. "We're going to end that because it's ridiculous," he said. Trump and other opponents of birthright citizenship have argued that it creates an incentive for people to come to the U.S. illegally or take part in birth tourism, in which pregnant women enter the U.S. specifically to give birth so their children can have citizenship before returning to their home countries. Simply crossing the border and having a child should not entitle anyone to citizenship, said Eric Ruark, Director of Research for Numbers USA, which argues for reducing immigration. The organization supports changes that would require at least one parent to be a permanent legal resident or a U.S. citizen for their children to automatically get citizenship. Others have argued that ending birthright citizenship would profoundly damage the country. One of our big benefits is that people born here are citizens, are not an illegal underclass. There's better assimilation and integration of immigrants and their children because of birthright citizenship, said Alex Naurasta, Vice President for Economic and Social Policy Studies at the Pro-Immigration Cato Institute. Does the American Constitution guarantee birthright citizenship? Yes. The 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The part about jurisdiction creates a very narrow exception that today essentially applies only to children of accredited foreign diplomats. Other than that, the citizenship or immigration status of a person's parents has not been held to have any effect on this right. The term birthright citizenship can also refer to another way a person can be born a U.S. citizen, by having a citizen parent. This source of citizenship, created by federal law rather than directly by the Constitution, has not generally figured in the debate over immigration policy, but comes up sometimes in presidential elections. Can the president abolish it by himself? No. The president cannot amend the Constitution, and an executive order trying to end or restrict the right would almost certainly be challenged in court as a violation of the 14th Amendment. Some of Trump's allies have suggested that the jurisdiction language in the amendment could be construed to exclude children of immigrants in the country illegally, the main targets of demands for ending birthright citizenship. Until now, the overwhelming scholarly and legal consensus has been that such an argument would have little or no chance of prevailing in court. Some legal scholars think that such arguments will continue to be non-starters in the courts. But the idea that the Supreme Court may at some point find the arguments for restricting birthright citizenship persuasive is no longer laughable, said Amanda Frost, a law professor at the University of Virginia and an expert on immigration and citizenship. Law. Limiting birthright citizenship was the consensus position among Republican presidential candidates in the 2024 election, and at least one federal judge has indicated a willingness to consider it. I don't think it's inconceivable, which is what I would have said in 2019, Frost said. The ground is shifting. Do other countries have the same policy? Yes. 33 countries and 2 territories, nearly all in the Western Hemisphere, including Mexico and Canada, have unrestricted birthright citizenship similar to that of the United States, according to a tally by the World Population Review. Another 40 have restricted versions of the right that may apply, for example, only to children of legal residents or of parents born in the country, or that exclude refugees. Several countries that, like the United States, had traditions of universal birthright citizenship rooted in English common law, including Britain, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and India, have restricted or abolished the right in recent decades. What do critics mean by birth tourism and anchor babies? Those terms, used by anti-immigration hardliners and other critics of birthright citizenship, tend to conflate 2 separate consequences of the policy. Each year, thousands of pregnant women from other countries enter the United States on a valid visa, give birth to children who automatically gain us citizenship, and then take the babies back home or to a third country. The practice, sometimes called birth tourism, is legal as long as the mother obtains her visa, truthfully, and complies with its terms. Trump and his supporters, however, tend to talk about expectant mothers who enter the country illegally to give birth to what they derisively call anchor babies, who would give the family access to public benefits and a foothold toward legal residence. The Migration Policy Institute estimates that, as of 2019, about 4.7 million American-born children under 18 were living with a parent who was in the country illegally, about 70 of all children in the United States. However, studies have found that the vast majority of such children did not cross the border in utero. The Pew Research Center estimated in 2022 that about 5 out of 6 U.S. children of immigrants in the country illegally were born 2 years or more after their parents entered the United States. Whether reared in the United States or abroad, once American children of non-citizen parents reach the age of 21, they can sponsor family members for legal permanent residency just as any other U.S. citizen can, a practice derided by critics as chain migration. Sponsorship by relatives has featured prominently in the stories of tens of millions of immigrants to the United States over the past century. The future of birthright citizenship remains uncertain. As president-elect Trump's plan faces formidable legal challenges. While some may view it as a necessary reform to curb illegal immigration, others warn that ending this long-standing policy could harm the integration of immigrants and their children. As the debate continues, it will be up to the courts and lawmakers to determine whether the right to citizenship for those born in the United States remains protected or is redefined in the coming years. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel US Immigration News. We hope you are doing great. In this video, we will discuss can Trump shut the door on a US birthright citizenship. President-elect Donald Trump has a promise to end birthright citizenship once he assumes office, arguing that the policy has been exploited and needs to be reformed. Birthright citizenship guaranteed by the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution provides automatic citizenship to anyone born in the United States regardless of the immigration status of their parents. This applies to children born to undocumented immigrants or those in the US temporarily on a tourist or student visas. Trump believes that this policy encourages illegal immigration and birth tourism, where a pregnant woman travel to the US specifically to give birth so their children can gain citizenship. Critics of the policy, including Trump and his supporters, argue that it incentives people to enter the US illegally or take advantage of the system by entering on a temporary visas to have a children who will automatically become US citizen. They propose that citizenship should only be granted to children whose parents are legal residents or US citizens. On the other hand, opponents of ending birthright citizenship warn that doing so would have a negative consequences for the country. Alex now read this from the Cato Institute, a pro-immigration think tank, argues that birthright citizenship plays an important role in immigrant integration. By ensuring that children born in the US are citizens, prevents them from becoming part of a illegal underclass, prompting better social and economic assimilation. This policy has been a cornerstone of American values, ensuring equal treatment and opportunity for children regardless of their parents' immigration status. Changing it could harm the integration process for millions of immigrant families. 14th Amendment protection of a birthright citizenship has been a fundamental aspect of a US law for over a century. It guarantees that anyone born in the country is a citizen with a few expectations, such as children born to accredited foreign diplomats. Although Trump and his allies have suggested that the jurisdiction language in the 14th Amendment could be interpreted to exclude children of undocumented immigrants, legal scholars widely agree that such an interpretation would face significant legal challenges. Ending birthright citizenship would likely require a constitutional amendment, which is a lengthy and complex process. While birthright citizenship remains a deeply divisive issue, it's clear that any attempt to end or restrict it would lead to prolonged legal battles. The debate continues as the US grapple with its immigration policies and the broader question of how to balance border control with the values of inclusion and equality.